What if I told you there was a guard that could score like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, pass like Tyrese Halliburton, and defend better than Anthony Edwards? You would probably think I'm crazy, but Detroit Pistons fans would recognize this as Cade Cunningham. Cunningham has been on an absolute tear recently, where this month he has probably been playing the best basketball of his career. In the last month, the former #1 overall pick has been averaging 27 points, 11 assists, 6 rebounds on a 58% true shooting percentage. At the time I make this, the Detroit Pistons were just on an 8-game winning streak, one of the longest in the recent franchise history, before that was ended tonight by the Denver Nuggets. But Cade has been at the center of a revitalized Detroit basketball team. What exactly has been going on with Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons? Cade has always been a talented scorer, but this year is where he took a leap, and he's been averaging 26 points per game. But it's not just his scoring that has seen a leap, it's just his overall shooting and efficiency. He's shooting 37% from 3 while taking a whole nother shot from 3. He's also shooting a very respectable around 41-42% on catch and shoot shots and 34% on pull-up shots, both better than last year. His scoring in the paint, at least outside the restricted arc, has also improved when compared to last season. He's got that patented right-handed hook shot, and just his overall post scoring, something is seldom seen in the NBA today, and even more rarely seen when it comes to just guards in general, in which his post scoring is one of the best amongst all non-centers in the entire NBA. Outside of the restricted arc, Cade Cunningham is shooting 49%. That is nearly 10% higher than Anthony Edwards, about 3% higher than Donovan Mitchell, and basically on the same level as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Despite not being the natural athlete that many other guards in the NBA are, and despite not having that quick first step we often see at the guard position, Cade Cunningham has been making it work because of his size and because of his strength. But his scoring isn't just because of the Pistons' new system, it's because he is cooking, and that can be seen in the fact that his assisted field goals, both from 2s and from 3s, are lower than what it was last year. Even though his inside game still needs some work, especially right at the rim, Cade Cunningham is slowly becoming a true 3-level threat. Detroit's offense has grown by nearly 5 points per 100 possessions compared to last season. This has brought them from a bottom 5 offense to a slightly above average one. And that slightly above average offense gets better with Cade on the floor, becoming a top 8 offense. And this isn't just a top 8 offense because Cade Cunningham has taken a leap scoring-wise, it's because Cade is also a phenomenal passer and playmaker. Cade was touted as a gifted playmaker coming out of college, but this year is where he is truly proving it. He has nearly doubled that amount of assists per game when compared to his rookie season. His 9.5 assists per game is by far the highest in his career. It's a whole assist more per game when compared to last year, and it's good for 3rd in the entire NBA. He's at a career high when it comes to his usage rate, which isn't always the best thing, but look at Detroit's roster. And even though his turnovers are high, his turnover rate isn't as bad as it makes it seem, and it's actually not even as high as it was in his rookie season. Well, I would love to credit Detroit's turnaround to Cade Cunningham. I can't put it all just on Cade. The Pistons have taken a major leap from beyond the arc, and this is actually a big reason as to why Cunningham is having the year he's having. They were the 4th worst 3-point shooting team last year. This year, they are the 12th best 3-point shooting team. Their head coach, JB Bickerstaff, is in the running for Coach of the Year because of the new system he instilled, as well as turning around the culture in Detroit. They've had some new roster additions, and one of the notable ones being Malik Beasley, who is in the running for 6th Man of the Year, and he has had a stellar year, shooting 42% from 3. Adding in floor spacers and adding in the right head coach has certainly turned things around for Detroit, and in doing so, has made Cade Cunningham's empty stats turn into true winning. And speaking of winning, that is something that the Detroit Pistons are doing a lot. This year alone, they have more wins than the previous 2 seasons combined, and the season's not even over yet. Cade has his weaknesses, but it's nothing too concerning in the grand scheme of things. His turnovers are a bit high, but it's nothing unexplainable, and it's not something I find too concerning because high turnovers isn't necessarily a bad thing. Of course, you don't want turnovers, but just because a player has high turnovers doesn't mean that they're a bad player, especially when you play in a heliocentric offense like what Detroit kind of looks like this year. He has definitely shown to be a great ball handler who just makes a few mistakes and someone who probably needs to tighten up his dribble just a little bit to really make it work at this level, especially since he doesn't have the quick first step we see in other guards like Shea or like Ant. He's unathletic by NBA standards and by standards of other star guards, and that has led him to not being the best finisher at the rim, something he does need to work on, but he does complement that with a great paint finishing game. He has a great post game for a guard, and he has a much improved mid-range shot, and like I said earlier in the video, he is a pretty good outside shooter this year. His athleticism might hold him back on defense, but defense he is also having the best year of his career. His defensive box plus minus is just -0.1, the best of his career. He is 6th in all guards when it comes to contests per game, and his defended field goal percentage is in the 75th percentile of all guards this year, showing that he is playing good defense. And not to mention his rebounding has looked good this year as he has a recommitted effort on the boards. Cunningham is not a point of attack defender, and due to his athleticism or more lack thereof, he may never be that. But with the burden he has to carry on offense, that's not a big issue for him, and honestly, he's not a bad defender either. He's definitely not a weakness in this Detroit team. And at 23 years old, with his first All-Star appearance this year, the sky is still just the limit for Cade Cunningham. I think if he could get just a little bit more athletic, maybe if he can get his dribbling just to be a little bit better, and maybe if he can become just that average level or slightly above average level finisher that people expect for a guy at his size, I think the potential is even higher for him. This year, he was an all-star and he is going to be in the all-NBA conversations. He has definitely been one of the biggest reasons why Detroit basketball has turned around. Let us not forget that Detroit was a joke of a team just a year ago. Now they're probably going to be not even just a play-in team, a play-off team. Cade is developing into an amazing all-around player, and because his game doesn't rely on athleticism, he might be a guy whose game actually transcends for a long time because injuries may not take away from him. As far as his potential goes, I could see Cade Cunningham easily being a guy who fits into the All-NBA conversation. He could easily be a guy who's probably at worst a second or third option on a championship level team. At best, he could revitalize Detroit basketball and he could be the guy to lead them there. The man is only 23 years old and he is averaging an insane stat line, and this year he's just become a triple-double machine. There is only a small handful of players in NBA history that have ever won an MVP award, and Nikola Jokic may just have that still locked in for the next few years. But I think Cade Cunningham might just be at that level where he could knock on the door in a few years. Who knows what he is going to be capable of when he is 25, 26, 27 years old, especially if Detroit is able to build a strong roster around him. Look at how much has happened just by giving him spacing. He has accomplished this much in just a one-year leap because Detroit has become a slightly above average shooting team. They're the 12th best three-point shooting team. There's still a lot of room to grow. With more spacing, Cade has more room to operate. Whether it's in the post, whether it's finishing, whether it's at the three-point line. His skills have always been there, but now he is actually able to show off, and Cade Cunningham has put Detroit Pistons basketball back on the map. Detroit fans, you no longer have to be ashamed to root for this franchise because you are going to have many bright years with Cade Cunningham at the helm. This is not just a player having a breakout season. This is the NBA being introduced to another superstar talent.